Thursday, the star of Wonder Man said out loud that when Marvel canceled his show, they told him it had something to do with the viewership numbers. And then never told him what the numbers were. His words, "I wasn't told what those numbers were." 4 days later, a Luminate chart came out ranking the most streamed Disney Plus originals of the past half of this year. Daredevil is number one at 2.3 billion minutes. Number two, ahead of Percy Jackson, ahead of Daredevil's own first season, is Wonder Man, 1.9 billion minutes. Canceled. So, Marvel canceled the second most watched show on their platform, told the lead it was about viewership, refused to show him the viewership, and 27 days later has still not put a single sentence on the record. I have 8 out of 10 on Marvel staying silent through August 31st. There are 5 days left, and I have never felt better about a prediction in my life. Yahya Abdul-Mateen said his show deserves some study and some real hard information. He's not getting it. And the reason he's not getting it is that the number isn't the reason. I said on this show 2 weeks ago that a leak is not a statement. An actor telling Vanity Fair he wasn't shown his own numbers isn't a statement either. That's my whole bet. I'm Mark, your fat friend, and that's James, your black friend. How you doing?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm here, and you've got a delay. It's lovely.
So
tease for the top of the show what we got going on. We got Spider-Man past Endgame on Tuesday. Punk kept the belt in Toronto because Sami Zayn couldn't help himself. And on Sunday, we find out whether 3 predictions I refused to put a number on were worth anything. Let's talk about our scorecards from last week, shall we?
Let's do it.
So we each had one pick. We both hit. We didn't miss anything. That's not us dodging. I made 13 calls last week, and exactly one of them had a deadline inside of 7 days. Heatwave is Sunday. The AAA finals are Monday. Doomsday is in December. So this is a short scorecard. Next week, it's probably going to be a little bit brutal. So what did we get right? I got a full hit, 1 out of 1, on the winner and finish. I gave it a 7 out of 10 on my confidence. I said that Punk would retain, and it would not be clean. There was a ref bump, no count stunner, no count GTS. Sami Zayn runs in. We get a 2.99 kick out. Sami slides the belt in. Kevin Owens refused to use it. Not this way. And then Sami blasts KO with it. Punk hits GTS, and that's our match, 19 minutes. You got that right, too. You were more confident in an 8 out of 10, but you didn't really predict the finish.
Oh, I think I said it wouldn't. I knew it wouldn't be clean.
Still with me?
Yeah.
Oh, man, your delay is very, very bad today.
I don't know.
You got to get you a new internet provider or something.
Possibly.
Well, 4 weeks went by of me asking you to give me confidence numbers, and when I finally get 7 of it, 6 or 7s higher, and then you get 1 higher than me and got it right. So I'm glad the last time we graded you, you were better at the stuff you weren't sure about. And also, we both got Penta right and Ray Phoenix right. So, pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'll kind of give you one that's leaning your way, but hasn't paid off yet, and that's Jacob Fatu. I had said that I believe he'll leave the bloodline by September 6th, so we still have some time on that. I did give it a 5 out of 10, but I did say that's going to happen. And you said you don't think he has the option to leave the bloodline at this point. However, the Usos did confront Fatu backstage again on Monday, in which Fatu said he only does what the OTC tells him to do.
All right.
So we've got Reigns coming back next Monday. I guess we'll see what happens.
He's just there to watch the finals of the number 1 contenders match.
Well, the last thing I'll call out about numbers before we move into our first big segment. So the number I've been chasing for a little while, looking at the report from last week or last episode, I did 55.1% of the talking to your 44.9. So I had 10,007 words to your 8,162. So, we're getting definitely better to a 50-50 standpoint, which is nice. So yeah, I'm not cutting you off. Just saying. I am concerned about today, obviously, with your lag.
Right. That's also concerning.
Well, shall we move into our first big segment of the night?
Let's do it.
Two enormous Marvel stories this week, and they point in opposite directions. On Tuesday, Spider-Man Brand New Day passed Avengers Endgame to become the second highest grossing film in the history of the American box office. In the same 7 days, the star of a show Marvel canceled a month ago said on the record that he was told it was about viewership and never shown the viewership. While a Luminate chart put that canceled show second on the entire Disney Plus original slate, Marvel has never made more money and never looked less able to explain itself. Plus, Endgame Encore got a trailer and a date. It's carrying 2 new Doomsday looks. A Doomsday podcast with Iman Vellani drops tomorrow. And there is a genuinely reviewable Marvel release on shelves today. So, obviously, our first big segment is going to be Marvel. So let's dive on in. First topic, Marvel canceled the number 2 show on Disney Plus and still won't say why. Here's some facts. The status stated flat. As of this morning, 27 days after the cancellation, there is still no on-record Marvel Studios or Disney statement explaining why Wonder Man was canceled. It was confirmed to the trades on July 30th with no explanation. My prediction, no public explanation by August 31st. We got 5 days left. Thursday, August 20th, Yahya Abdul Mateen II broke his silence to Vanity Fair. Reported by the LA Times on the 21st, he was told the cancellation had something to do with the viewership numbers. Then, quote unquote, I wasn't told what those numbers were, but ultimately, for whatever reason it was, I think they decided that it didn't make sense for business. The line that is the whole segment, so our show deserves some study and some real hard information about why a show like this did not continue forward, because it had all of the ingredients that one would want in a show. On Marvel's record with black-led projects in the same interview, I think the optics are obvious. If I'm a big business, if I'm Disney, if I'm Marvel, I don't want to be attached to these optics. So it should be a priority to change the narrative and to do what it takes to responsibly change that narrative with quality stories, with quality resources. Now, the contradiction. Friday, October 21st, Luminate's first half 2026 numbers for most streamed Disney Plus original TV seasons in the US. Daredevil Born Again Season 2 first at 2.3 billion minutes. Wonder Man second at 1.9 billion, ahead of Percy Jackson and the Olympians Season 2, and ahead of Born Again's own first season. Luminate is a third-party measurement relayed by outlets, not a Disney release, and Born Again Season 2 was still down about 46% from Season 1 on a first 5-episode basis. So let's take a look at the pattern, shall we? Marshiala Ali told GQ he has moved on from Blade. If they wanted to do it, we would have done it. And Feige said on a record podcast that he felt like a gigantic loser and failure for not getting Blade made. That's the closest Feige has come to addressing any of it. And it's about Blade, not Wonder Man. The counterweight, Marvel can point to what David Johnson's cast as T'Challa's son and the new King of Wakanda. Black Panther 3 from Ryan Coogler is coming December 15, 2028. For the record, the showrunner already killed the convenient excuses. Andrew Guest said, "This is not a marketing stunt. There is no movie in the works, and Destin's schedule and no one's schedule was an issue. Contracts were signed, schedules were cleared." So, James, here's my main question for you. The showrunner has spoken. The director has spoken. The star has now spoken. And a third party chart says it was the second biggest thing on the platform. Marvel is the only party that hasn't said a word. At what point does silence stop being a communications choice and start being an admission?
I don't know. I mean, I think with everything that's going on, I think they they need to say something, because especially if everybody else has said something and you're the only ones that haven't said anything about it, it's looking real suspect. And after the whole Blade thing too, that's real sus. Well, not really suspect, but you have, now that these numbers come out and you see it's a number 2 show as far as viewership, and you're telling him, oh, it was a viewership thing. Ouch.
So Abdul Mateen was told it was about viewership and never shown the viewership. If you're the actor, is that worse than being told nothing at all?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you tell me, oh, it's a numbers thing, and then you don't tell me the numbers thing, and then something comes out, and I don't know if he's seen it or not, but something comes out and says that our numbers were good, then you were just blowing smoke.
Yeah. So would you say then that the Luminate numbers actually prove anything? I mean, 1.9 billion minutes over 6 months across an 8-episode show. Is that a hit, or is that a number that just sounds big?
I don't know. Okay, again, like, Luminate is a third party, so I mean, I don't really know how all the ratings and all that stuff work, as far as like Nelson ratings, all that kind of stuff. I don't know how all that works, but uh 1.9 billion minutes, that does sound a lot. And I don't, like, each episode was like an hour out of 8 episodes. Actually, they were like, yeah,
I mean,
45
just
minutes or so.
to put this to you, that's 31.67 million hours.
Oh yeah, that's, that's a lot of hours too. So I mean, like, that number sounds big. I don't know what I mean, if how that
It
turns
roughly
it.
breaks out to approximately, if you take those hours and divide it by 8 and say, okay, there were 8 episodes, right? That approximately means there was about 4 million views of each episode.
Oh, then yeah, I mean that's those are high numbers for a TV show. And people aren't,
Yeah,
some
especially
people,
something that's not on network.
right. And some people are going, um like you and me, for example, we'll watch every week, but there's some people that will wait till the series is complete and then just run through the entire thing. So I don't know if they're talking about, oh, each week, this is, each week we're counting these numbers, or at the end of everything we're counting these numbers, or however that's all working. But for me, the Rotten Tomato score alone was like a 91, and for a TV show, that's
Yep.
huge, huge. So there, that
So you
alone should
kind
have.
of stole a little thunder from my next question for you. So Marvel renewed the show back in March and canceled it in July, even though it had a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes and an Emmy nominated lead. So what the hell changed between March and July?
I have no idea, and obviously they ain't telling us nothing. So, like, you know, like he says, I think it's they need to uh they need to take a hard look at it and figure out, like, everything was working, everything else was, everybody was good, we all signed on, um everybody's schedules are cleared. So, and then, like, what you said, March, April. So April happens, and then actually April and May happen, and then all of a sudden you cancel us in June. Like that makes no sense.
I mean, it was technically canceled in July, but
Oh, sorry. So like 3
so
months happened in between.
so Feige will say loser and failure about Blade on a podcast, but won't put one sentence out about Wonder Man. Is Blade easier to apologize for because nobody ever watched it?
Probably. I mean, and the thing is, what we've seen posters, multiple posters. You added him in to the end of Eternals, or you had his voice. I'm sorry, you didn't add him, but you had his voice at the end of Eternals. You had, which has another end that we probably won't see with the Black Knight, but yeah, there everything was already
Also has
built up.
Thanos' brother.
Oh yeah, that too. But then we also, and then the thing was, is that on every panel leading up to more recently, Blade was on the schedule. Never had a date, or actually, I think it did have a date at one point, and then it just like never happened. Like what? Like if anything, it's almost more disrespectful to the fact that Marshall Ali had been on that project since day one, like before it was even actually announced, and then like to be dragging it along, dragging it along, dragging it along, and then all of a sudden you cut it. It's kind of dumb.
So I'm going to ask a tough question here now, and I think we have to because we are the fat and black connection. You are black male, and obviously we saw this happen with Blade. We saw this happen with now Wonder Man. Armor Wars, what the hell's going on there? That's supposed to be black led with Don Cheadle. We also had the Okoye show that was supposed to happen from Wakanda. That doesn't seem like it's going to happen. I'm not saying that there is something here, but again, going back to the optics, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean I mean it's not looking good. Like some of the stuff, like I heard like with the Okoye series, which I would have actually liked to see. I think there was some issues there, and ended up not even being made or something. And then yeah, Iron Wars has kind of just been up in the air. Um I heard something about them doing a movie or a no, wait, it was supposed to be a movie. I don't remember what it's supposed to be, but anyways,
It was originally going to be a movie, and then
and it
it
was
was
going to
going
be
to
a
be
series.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, and then they can't. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on there. Like that's because actually I was really excited for that, mostly because I do like Don Cheadle, and I was hoping that show might answer some of those questions that we had after Secret Wars. Um, but again, we're not getting any of that. Like when did he actually get picked up by
After
the?
Secret Wars?
Yeah, like after, well, because like he got we like we see the scroll version of him, but we don't know exactly how long he has been.
Oh, you're talking about Secret Invasion.
Oh, see, I'm sorry. Yeah, Secret Invasion. My bad. Sorry, not Secret Wars. Um, two totally different things. My bad. Yeah, Secret Invasion. I'm sorry. Um, and yeah, so I thought that might have given us some answers there, but again, maybe seen Ironheart, maybe seen what Rescue I think is what's her name's suit that she had, Gwyneth Paltrow's, I can't remember her character's name right now. I think, yeah. But yeah, anyways,
Rescue.
I thought that was going to kind of have all those characters in there, and us trying to figure, yeah, that's what I remember the what Gwyneth Paltrow's character's name was.
Oh, Pepper Potts.
Yeah, Potts. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I thought that was going to be about. Maybe getting their daughter. The daughter has a suit or something like that. But regardless, we're not going to know because that also got canceled. But that fell off. That fell off lists a while back too. So
However, it's never been officially canceled.
oh, okay. So there could be some life still left in it. They just haven't figured out when to put it.
Maybe, maybe. Well, here's my strong take on this topic. Marvel told a man his show was canceled over numbers, wouldn't show him the numbers, and the only number that has surfaced says his show was second on the whole platform. There are two possibilities. Either the viewership explanation was never true, or it was true and Marvel is embarrassed by what good enough now means to them. I don't know which one it is. Neither does he. That's the problem.
Yeah, definite problem.
Let's press on to our second topic of the evening. Spider-Man passed Endgame, and only Star Wars is left. On Tuesday, August 25th, that was yesterday, Spider-Man Brand New Day passed Avengers Endgame to become the second highest grossing film ever at the domestic box office. 858.4 million against Endgame's 858.3 million lifetime North American total. The only film ahead of it domestically is Star Wars The Force Awakens at 936.6 million. That's it. Sequence does matter, though. Over the August 21st to 23rd weekend, it passed No Way Home to hold number 3. Then it passed Endgame on the 24th and 25th. It is now the highest grossing Marvel film ever in the United States. Its fourth weekend, it did 39 million in 4,006 theaters. That is a down 533 locations prior to the last week, which is about a 45% drop from a dollars perspective because they did make 70.7 the prior week. However, this is the fourth straight weekend at number 1, and it's the first film to lead 4 weeks since Avatar: Fire and Ash. 39 million is the 7th best fourth weekend of all time, behind Super Mario Brothers and Black Panther, ahead of the Avengers and Barbie and No Way Home. Now, worldwide, this film has made $2.245 billion and is now number 6 all time, having passed The Force Awakens at 2.07, Avengers Infinity War at 2.052, and it had a budget of $225 million. That's 9.9 times the budget.
So wait, so
Now,
that's so real quick. So that's what 2 billion, 255 million, 500,000.
close, 2,224,500,000.
Oh, 24. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Numbers got messed up. But yeah.
Yes, so it's basically profited $2 billion so far.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now, to be clear, it has not passed Titanic. It is imminent, but not done. Titanic sits at number 5 with 2.26 billion, and as of Sunday, Brand New Day is 44 million short of that as well. So, probably in the next week or so, we will see this film go from number 6 to number 4. So, going past Titanic, Titanic, and I'd never heard of this film. I had to look it up. Niza 2.
Yeah,
which evidently did 2.27 billion in China predominantly.
Yeah, I think I heard about that. Or maybe I'm thinking of a different one. It's like it's actually an animated thing.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it. It came out last year, I guess.
Yeah, I saw like a poster for it, and the little boy or girl, whatever it was, looking kind of like, and I was like, oh, okay, that looks interesting, but yeah, I never actually saw it.
Yeah. Now, domestically, 900 million is 41.6 million away from the number 1 spot. 18 million in the 5th weekend is possible this weekend coming up. Probably another number one finish. Rotten Tomatoes has it 40 million ahead of The Force Awakens pace after 24 days. So it is likely going to close $900 million by next weekend, especially with a Labor Day bump. But probably a domestic billion is just going to be out of its reach. Probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, here's kind of the whole caveat to the whole coronation. Disney's re-release of Avengers Endgame Encore on September 25th, which adds to Endgame's total, the domestic number 2 crown can be taken back by Disney from Disney. So here's a little bit of industry context. 2026 box office crossed $7 billion January through August 23rd, which is up 20.4% year over year. And the summer is at 4.444 billion, which is 25.5% ahead of last year. And against 2013's all-time summer record of 4.75 billion. So Sony chief Tom Rothman asked about superhero fatigue, and this is what he said. The press talks a lot about that. But right now, on anything, the theatrical audience demands greatness. If it's only okay, they can stay home and see only okay all day long on television. If we're going to ask them, make a trip out of it, it's got to be great. So here's my main question for you, James. Marvel spent 4 years being told the audience was tired. A Spider-Man movie just outgrossed Endgame domestically. Was the fatigue ever real, or was it just a run of bad movies?
I think actually it was. I think it was a little bit of both. We talked about it on here. I was saying that like we asked if the superhero genre was dead, and I was like, I don't think it's dead. I think it's just people are tired. There's so many. And not all the movies have been good. Like just because I think a movie's good doesn't mean that, overall people think the movie's good. And so it's people are still going to like if they're like you and me, or they're Marvel fans, whatnot, they'll probably go see the movie regardless. But if it's not good, it's just like it's hard to you might not watch it again, or I'm sure some of these people who have seen Brand New Day have gone out, some of the content creators that I've seen have seen it multiple times, helping those numbers. So, I think it's a little bit of both. I think it was the movies weren't great, and it was kind of an oversaturation.
So Sony's Rothman says the audience demands greatness. Is that a real analysis, or the thing every executive says after they have a hit?
No, I think it's especially after a hit, that's what, they have that number, and they see that, oh, this is, people are really enjoying this, but, they just need to be sure that the next movies are good. Like, I don't know how they really, keep an eye on that stuff to make sure that, kind of everything kind of carries over or whatnot. But I think that's what it really boils down to, is that, yes, you've told us now you're expecting great, people want greatness. And yes, we do. But, also, like, how are you going to make sure that you keep putting out greatness?
Fair. Disney's about to re-release Endgame and possibly take the number 2 spot back from its own current number 2. Is that smart, or is that a studio competing with itself?
I think, well, they kind of told us that they were going to do this. So yeah, it will kind of be competing with itself. But I think after the kind of summer run that Spider-Man's had, I think that it's starting to peter down.
Peter out.
Yeah, yeah. But I think it's also they're trying to, at this rate too, is also catch the momentum of coming out of Spider-Man, re-releasing their biggest hit with it's the exclusive look at Doomsday. They're releasing it in the Infinity format, as well as like I think there's some new footage or something within the movie. So like with all that, I think they're riding the wave. They're jumping back into it to catch the undercurrent to ride it again, and then they're going to and then they're hoping that kind of takes them into Doomsday. And so like September, October, November, and then is Doomsday December, or is it November? I couldn't remember.
Doomsday comes out in December.
Yeah, so they're just kind of ride that. It'll be in a good number of theaters when it opens up, and then it'll start it'll start tapering down, I guess, and then but leading right into Doomsday. So
okay, so this film basically did 10 times its budget, or will end up having done 10 times its budget. Now Doomsday, it's a bigger movie, much bigger cast. What multiple does Doomsday have to hit to be called a success?
It has to at least do this. Whatever. I mean, you got to look at how much it costs to make. It has to now. I mean, in order for it to really be probably a huge success in Disney's eyes, it's going to have to do these kind of numbers.
So are you saying, and I don't know what the budget is for Doomsday, let's say it's 400 million. Are you saying it needs to do 4 billion in sales to be a success?
I mean, I don't know if it has to do 4 billion, but it has to basically make its money back. Plus it needs to, like, at least double it. Plus, probably, like I said, possibly do these kind of numbers.
So looking right now, the estimates have Doomsday at a budget of around 400 million for the film, plus another 200 to 300 million for marketing. So on the low end, that puts it at around 600 million. So I think,
yeah,
one of the things that Marvel has to do, in my opinion.
Sorry, I don't really count. I mean, yes, marketing is involved, but I don't really count marketing as, like, I think when you're looking at the film total, I think that's the budget that it takes to make the film. I think that's what they're really looking at. The marketing, they're doing that because they want to make sure that it makes its money back. So they're going to put a bunch of money into that marketing.
I mean, you spent 400 million on a film and then 200 million on marketing. You would want to make back at least 600 million, right? Otherwise, it doesn't break even.
You're gonna make that.
You have to think, as a company, you have to think about the whole picture.
Right. What I'm saying is that from everything the way it looks, you're going to make that. You're going to make that back. Like, you're definitely going to break even regardless. I mean, I can't say regardless, but I think you're going to end up breaking even, and then you're going to do way above that.
All I'm saying is, I think, again, you occasionally have to do fan service, right? And so I think that Doomsday could do 2.2, 2.4, 2.5 billion, and it'd still be an immense success. Yes, it's less profitable, but I think you have to be willing to take some of those less profits, because you've got to spend the money on the cast, which is where a majority of that money is getting spent, because you've grown this beast to what it is. So you've got to be willing to pay that off occasionally and maybe take a profits hit, it's still going to be significantly profitable, maybe 3, even 4 times bigger than the film budget and marketing. But I don't think we're going to see 10 times its budget.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of wishful thinking. I think, again, some of these people will probably take some of the big actors in this film are probably taking like kind of a cut for box office. They're taking a cut up front for box office, maybe. I don't know. Um, I've seen that happen, and a lot of times it ends up paying off because you end up making a whole lot more than you would if you just took the check right up front. Um, but
Mhm.
also with the Russos, this is kind of what they're good at. They're good at the big cast. That's why I'm really glad that they brought them on for this, because you look at what they've done, prior, and you have these huge cast movies, and you have these two guys who are able to, you know, get everybody to meld it together so it's very cohesive. So that's when I heard they were coming on to do it, I was very excited. So, you know, whatever they had to pay those guys, it's kind of almost worth it at that point too.
So this film's going to pass Titanic in the next couple days. Does passing Titanic mean anything anymore, though? I mean, especially when you think about Titanic had a re-release in 2012.
Which added to the numbers. So I mean, I guess so. I mean, still Titanic was like the biggest movie of its time. Like, excuse me. Titanic is still very popular. Um, Especially amongst, like, elder millennials, and even, and so they're kind of introducing it to their kids and stuff like that. So I think Titanic still has legs, but you know yeah, I mean, you passed a movie that had that title for a couple decades now, right?
I know. I mean, Titanic. It's Titanic was number one for a long time, right? Titanic was number one until Avatar came out. Avatar was the what finally dethroned it. But since then, there have been multiple other films that have surpassed. Um, big picture. So I don't know. I feel like Spider-Man: Brand New Day is how do I say this? I think it's a very good film. I want to couch what I'm about to say. I think it is a very good film, but being number one domestically, I don't know about that. Titanic, when it was number one in the world and domestically, that film made sense. Avatar, when it was number one domestically and in the world, that film made sense. This to me is a very good film, but I don't think it's number one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So again, I think obviously there's always the argument of adjusting for inflation and all of that stuff. What would it look like? And this film certainly would not be, anywhere probably even in the top 10 if everything was adjusted for inflation to 2026, right? Um, and I think that's the point that a lot of people tend to miss when this conversation happens.
yeah. I think they're
Well,
looking at it.
closing out this segment here,
Oh,
oh,
sorry. I think they're
no,
they're
go
looking.
ahead.
Yeah, they're looking at it from the right now. So they're not looking. Yeah, you can look at the whole grand scheme of things with inflation, all that kind of stuff. But I think the big thing is, what are the numbers that we're getting right now that will make that's getting us to the next point.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, if we were to, and this is the craziest thing. Uh, just pulled it up really quickly because I was curious. If we adjusted for inflation, what would be the top 5 highest grossing movies of all time? What do you think number 1 is?
Like The Godfather or something.
No, that's not in the top 5 at all.
I don't even
No,
know.
number one at $4.56 billion, Gone with the Wind.
Oh, yeah, I should have known that.
Avatar number 2 at 4.15 billion, Titanic number 3 at 3.86 billion, Star Wars A New Hope at 3.74 billion, Avengers Endgame at 3.44 billion. So Spider-Man is at current inflation, right? So it's at 2.2 whatever we said earlier, right? So it's still well over $1 billion behind number 5.
Interesting.
So that's kind of my point. I think it is being heralded as, one of the greatest films of all time, and I don't agree with that. It is a great film, don't get me wrong, but it is not one of the greatest of all time.
I think they're just talking about.
Here's my strong. Go ahead. Yeah, well, here's my final strong take on this topic. For 4 years, the story was that people were done with superheroes. The correct story was that people were done with mediocre ones. One good Spider-Man movie just did 9.9 times its budget and knocked Endgame off the number 2 spot. There was never fatigue. There was a quality problem. And Marvel spent 4 years calling it a market problem because a market problem isn't anybody's fault. All right, you ready for the next big topic?
Yeah.
Marvel is re-releasing Endgame to sell Doomsday twice. As of yesterday, it was official. Marvel Studios dropped the trailer and poster for Avengers Endgame Encore and put tickets on sale. It's in theater September 25th. The trailer is about 33 seconds and is built almost entirely out of the 2019 audience reaction footage of the portal scene. Marvel is selling you the memory of watching it, not the movie. The part that matters is that the Encore carries 2 separate new Doomsday looks. The official copy says the presentation, quote unquote, includes an exclusive look at the highly anticipated December 18th release of Marvel Studios' Avengers Doomsday. An additional sneak peek at the film will also be available to audiences in IMAX and Infinity Vision certified screens. One look for everybody, a second one in premium formats. Infinity Vision is a brand new Disney premium large format certification debuting with Encore and then used for Doomsday itself. And the Russos announced at CinemaCon and said that the 3-hour plus film will carry brand new footage. Feige confirmed surprises and said Doomsday will pick up where Endgame left off, but also go back to where it all started with X-Men. Now, this is unverified, so I just want to make sure I'm not stating this as a fact. The long-running rumor that Encore contains a brand new post-credits scene now is sounding like maybe it's not a post-credit scene, but an exclusive look. So, on August 20th, Marvel announced the Countdown to Avengers Doomsday official podcast, which is going to be hosted by Frank Alvarez, I don't know who that is, and Iman Vellani, Miss Marvel. 5 episodes, first one on August 27th, that's tomorrow, weekly after that, and the 5th episode is on Endgame and lands with the September 25th Encore release. Disney Plus and YouTube, plus an audio on Apple and Spotify. Now, again, we mentioned Iman Vellani. She's not been announced for the Doomsday cast. Now, Miss Marvel did bring Miss Marvel back to host this, but she's not in the movie. Kind of weird, right? Doomsday tickets have been on sale at theaters nationwide since August 14th, and for premium format since July 20th. And already, first day premium pre-sales are at 16.5 million.
Mm.
Now, this again is unverified, coming out of IGN India, but $35 million domestic advance sales figures 4 months out right now. However, we still have no Hugh Jackman confirmation. Marvel has formally confirmed Deadpool and Peggy Carter from San Diego Comic-Con's panel. Deadpool, not Wolverine. No new Doomsday footage, no runtime, no rating in the last week. The two existing trailers are the July 20th full trailer and the August 14th D23 special look. So here's my main question for you, James. Marvel's re-releasing the biggest movie, cutting a trailer made of other people's reaction videos, and hiding the second Doomsday sneak peek behind a premium format they invented for the occasion. Is that confident marketing, or is that a studio that needs a September number? Because that's the end of Q3, keep in mind.
No, yeah, I don't think I mean, I think they kind of already planned to release this with before Doomsday. The Infinity format I was looking up, it's pretty much just that's just, yeah. I mean, I understand it's like the little bit of the premium, but I mean, uh, if I'm gonna go see this again, I'd probably want to see it in. Uh, so I probably won't see it in IMAX, um, but I'd go see it in XD at Cinemark. So that's what it's made for. So
Well, make sure that it's Infinity Vision certified. Otherwise, you're not going to get that other exclusive look.
yeah, no, I already checked to make sure that that's what it was, and that when I read it, when I was going in to read about what the Infinity Infinity version or Infinity Vision, whatever that, but I was like, any of the theaters I have it that I go to, and it was basically talking about Cinemark XD. It was talking about AMC, their like IMAX, and I think they're Dolby or whatever. So yeah, it's like it's something that a movie that you would go see but pay a little bit more for. So you know, uh, it'll be, yeah, it has it. So I'm okay there.
I do have some other questions for you, but before I'm looking at this artwork, I hadn't really looked at it closely before, and one thing that stands out to me immediately is that Hulkbuster is in this image,
Yeah.
which isn't in Endgame. What joke are they running on us? Because they had Hulk in the Infinity War trailer,
Yeah,
but then gave us Hulkbuster. And now in this, I don't see Hulk. I see Bruce Banner, but I don't see Hulk, but I see the Hulkbuster suit.
oh no, because he was Smart Hulk at that point in time when he goes and runs in, huh? He didn't
Yeah,
have he didn't have the Hulkbuster suit. So yeah, I don't know. That's I noticed that too, and that is kind of funny. That yeah, that is kind of funny.
interesting. So two sneak peeks, one exclusive to IMAX Infinity Vision. Is gating footage behind a ticket price fine now? Or is that the kind of thing that everyone would have screamed about in 2019?
I think it gives it pushes those numbers up, and you know, people are gonna want to. There's if I'm going to see this again, I want to get all that extra stuff. So that's probably why they're doing it.
So why not just release it only in IMAX or Infinity Vision? Why even do a standard release?
Because people will go see it. Um, and it probably won't even be like, it'll probably be really, they'll probably end up putting it in like regular as well. But they're trying to gives people like, oh, I'm getting. I mean, actually, they'll probably do it closer to the end where they just release it to all theaters, but the exclusive stuff. But they might just be wanting to give those people who are willing to pay a little bit more an opportunity to get some special look stuff.
I'm gonna call out one other thing. Is Nick Fury in Endgame? Aside from the very end scene at Tony Stark's funeral?
I don't think so because he got snapped.
He's not in the portal scene.
He
was dusted.
Yeah, he got snapped at the end of Miss Marvel. Or no, that wasn't not.
No, he got snapped at Infinity War.
Oh, and he called Miss Marvel. Yeah, no.
But he wasn't in the portal scene in Endgame.
No, he was not.
I mean, it's interesting because they have him, very predominant right above Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I kind of like the look of this poster, though.
Had said no on Jack. Yeah. Last week you had said no to Hugh Jackman returning, and you gave it a 7.5 confidence score. However, Encore is 4 weeks away, and it's carrying 2 new looks. Is this where you're going to lose that bet?
Possibly.
So they've invented this new format, right? Infinity Vision. Is this an actual technical upgrade, or is it just a cool logo?
I mean, I think it's a cool logo. But I think it's it's just to get people to. I think they're trying to maybe like. I don't know. Maybe the numbers have been dwindling for like XD and stuff like that, or like IMAX, or I don't know, because I remember last time I went to an IMAX movie was packed out, so which was Fire and Ash, but I don't know, maybe they're trying to make a cleaner look using everything at their disposal to make the best possible looking film.
And again, looking at this image, one thing that I'll call out is that Endgame Encore title has purple in it, which signifies the Power Stone. I wonder if that means
power.
Iman Vellani is hosting this official podcast for a movie that, as far as we can tell, she's not in. Is that Marvel keeping her warm, or is that a Miss Marvel tell for Secret Wars?
I mean, could be, but I think it's just, keep her in the fold. Keep her in the fold.
Okay. The trailer's 33 seconds of people crying from back in 2019. Does that work for you?
I don't really care about the people. I mean, like, I remember the first time I saw the people's reaction, I was like, yeah, I feel it. But at the same time, I remember like that is the one scene. I don't know what it is about that scene, but like every time I see it, for the most part, I end up getting like, get kind of chills every time I see it.
I agree with you. I definitely get the feels, but I don't know. That to me was pretty weak. Like, and even in the trailer, you could have said, hey, you need to see it in one of these formats if you want to see all the new exclusive stuff or whatever. I don't know. I feel like
I think that's just the first. That's the first one.
It's fine.
There'll be another one. There'll be another one after that. So that's probably like hey, come see it in this format so you get exclusive look stuff. So,
well, here's my final strong take on this topic. Marvel just built a September marketing event out of a 7-year-old movie, a 33-second trailer of strangers crying, and 2 pieces of Doomsday footage, one of which you can only see if you pay for the expensive screen. That's not a re-release. That's a Doomsday commercial that charges admission. And it'll work, which is the annoying part. I already bought my ticket.
I haven't bought it yet. Just got to figure out when to go.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's move on. So, 2 weeks after casting 6 X-Men, Marvel has said nothing, and the internet filled it in. Nothing officially changed between August 19th and this morning. Marvel announced 0 new X-Men casting. Wolverine, Beast, Iceman, Gambit are still uncast, and as far as we can tell, any official or trade show sources haven't given us any new news. No new Jake Shearer or Kevin Feige statements on X-Men casting. The last official event is still the D23 reveal on August 14th. Here's our lineup, right? We talked about this last week. Sadie Sink, Kit Connor, Christopher Abbott, Professor X, Samara Weaving, Emma Frost, Indy Navarrete, Maya Boyd, and Adam Driver. So, into the silence, though, that came from August 21st, there was a claim from an X account called Doom's Servant that Beast, Angel, and Jubilee are expected to be in this film. Kitty Pryde and Iceman are 50-50 at best. Gambit, Polaris, Wolverine, and Colossus are not expected to appear. The outlet is relying, it says plainly that the details remain unverified. Marvel Studios has not confirmed the rumored lineup, and to take it with a pinch of salt. Again, because we're not getting new news from official sources, that's where looking at unofficial sources becomes interesting. So the one concrete-ish item, and it's a crew database. On August 19th, a Filmbase UK listing put X-Men in production starting up location to be confirmed, either Ireland or Pinewood. And it would shoot expected at the end of summer, which contradicts the widely repeated filming starting in 2027 line. So this Filmbase UK listed Secret Wars under already in prep at Pinewood with the note 5-week hiatus for all crew. Production will resume end of September. In prep is not principal photography. Outlets turned that into filming halted. So you last week said that you felt immensely comfortable and confident that Secret Wars was going to be happening on time, but the film it's on a slight hiatus right now with photography not coming back until September. We've gotten no title change, no date change, no casting, nothing. With December 17th, 2027, Russo's directing. We know RDJ's back as Doomsday. But are you still feeling like your 10 out of 10 on this date retaining is still going to be the case?
Yeah. Like, I had to take a break. Okay, whatever. I mean, they're probably, I'm not going to lie to you. I feel some of that feels like they say they're not doing any shooting, but it's like I think they're doing something small. They wanted to get eyes that didn't need to be there, get them out of here, and just like let's because they're trying to keep those leaks under wraps, like we talked about.
Well, here's my big question for you when it comes to the X-Men. Marvel casts 6 X-Men, gave them a date 21 months out, and then went completely silent for the last 12 days while anonymous accounts filled in the roster. Is that a company controlling its rollout or a company that doesn't have the rest of the cast yet?
I think it's probably just control. I'm like I said, I was a little surprised that they brought Storm in. I was kind of hoping they'd kind of hold off on that one. But I think with if they do bring Beast in, it wouldn't be the end of the world due to the fact that Beast is one of the original X-Men from back in the day. But yeah, I don't know. Kitty Pryde is there's been like 5 of them. There's we never actually truly got a Jubilee. We got a girl that kind of looked like Jubilee in one of the X-Men movies. I can't remember which one. And then Iceman we've had. Colossus we've had like 2 different iterations of Colossus. The one from Deadpool Wolverine is actually kind of one of my favorites. Or Deadpool, I kind of like that Colossus, but the Colossus that we got in, I think, was at X3 or X2, one of those. But yeah, I think I'll take rumors as I get them, but until they're confirmed, they're just rumors, and so it is what it is. There's always going to be rumors when you think about it.
So you said that Mr. Sinister is going to be the main villain across multiple films, and you gave that a 9 out of 10. Adam Driver hasn't said a word since D23. What would get you to move off of that 9?
Me hearing something else.
So you still feel just as confident a week later that he's going to be the main villain across multiple films?
Yeah, I'm not bringing Adam Driver on to do one movie. Like, that's ridiculous. I'm not like, he's not a huge star, but he brings a lot of star power. So therefore, I'm not going to just bring him in once and then get rid of him. I'm going to use him.
I'm going to argue that immensely. Hugo Weaving to play a villain in one film, one and done.
That was
You've got Christian Bale brought in to be a villain, one and done.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there have been multiple good actors cast in villain roles that were one and done.
Right. Hugo Weaving decided he didn't really think it was going to be anything big, so he dropped. He was done after the first first Avenger, Captain America. And then like Christian Bale, yeah, he died in that film. So, but I'm saying like Mr. Sinister is one of those characters that kind of just always seems to get out of situations and stuff.
So if this scooper is right, that Wolverine, Gambit, and Colossus are all going to be out of this film, is an X-Men movie without any of them a bold choice, or is it a missing product?
No, I mean, I think you're saving those. You're just saving it for another movie. Like you have these guys, cool. Then you can build in getting these other characters as for the next one. And I mean, I think if you're gonna add people to the next film, yeah, then it's some bigger, get some, Wolverines, Colossuses, get those characters in there. You don't have to have them all immediately, in my opinion.
Marvel's never said that Wolverine is going to be absent. The announced cast just isn't exhaustive. So does not denying count as confirming?
I guess not. I mean, it could always be, but I don't know.
So half of the internet spent last Thursday saying the Secret Wars stopped filming when the source said it was in prep. How much of what we think we know about the slate is somebody misreading a crew database?
Probably somebody just misreading it. People always gonna have something to say. Like they was like, "Oh, it stopped production." Oh no, like, bro, calm down. Like it's probably not even that serious. It's probably just like, they needed to take care of something or whatever. So they, and plus, I mean, hell, give them time off because it's going to be a long it's going to be a long shoot. So, make sure people are, they get to send them home, they get some rest, spend time, because then when they come back, it's gonna be go, 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 go until this thing is done, probably.
Here's my strong take on this topic. Marvel's X-Men rollout has produced exactly one piece of new information in 12 days, and it came from a UK crew database that fan sites then misread badly enough to report that a different movie stopped filming. That's the whole ecosystem right now. The studio says nothing, a database leaks a location, and by Friday, it's a headline about a production shutting down that never started. We're not doing that. Wolverine is uncast. That's the news.
I got nothing.
No?
I got nothing.
Fair enough. All right, next topic for you then. Marvel TV is either cutting back or ramping up, depending on which trade you read. On August 19th, Puck's Julia Alexander reported that multiple live-action Marvel series are in development for Disney Plus, with announcements expected soon. That directly contradicts a Collider report from the week before saying Marvel Studios was cutting back on live-action Disney Plus shows other than Daredevil. Could Nova be a series or a movie? That's been rumored. So again, the actual data, Daredevil, Born Again, Season 2 is the most streamed Disney Plus original season of the first half of 2026 at 2.3 billion minutes. And it went 0 for 17 on Nielsen's weekly streaming charts, never appearing once. Both of those are true at the same time. Season 3 wrapped filming in early August and lands coming up in March. Vision Quest, no movement this week. And that's the news. Still, Wednesday, October 14th, 2026, 8 episodes. Terry Montalas, showrunning. Paul Bettany as Vision. James Spader back as Ultron. Closes the WandaVision Agatha All Along trilogy. No new trailer, no episode titles, no revised count since the August 14th, 15th D23 drop. 7 weeks out from a flagship premiere. You gave an 8.5 out of 10 that Vision Quest gets no second season and no sequel. You said, I think this ends it. And I said that I think this series will land an 80% or higher on Rotten Tomatoes. Nothing dropped this week. X-Men 97 Season 2 ended August 12th. No Marvel Studios, Marvel Television, or Marvel Animation episode released between August 19th and today. For a company with 2.2 billion movie in with a 2.2 billion movie in the theaters right now, the streaming side put out nothing. And for the X-Men 97 fans, the finale detail, man, have you finished it before I say what I'm about to say?
No. But say what you can say.
Are you kidding me?
You can say it. I'll still watch it.
I'm going to, because you've had lots of time to watch this. So Rogue made a deal with the Celestial to trade her life for Gambit's. Nightcrawler intervenes and takes her place, dying instead. His last line, "My memory will be a seed from which new ones will grow." One of the producers said, "It's a different kind of sad. It's almost a hopeful thing." And he revealed a bordered alternate ending where the X-Men set a place at the dinner table for Kurt anyways. Now, Nightcrawler was originally meant to die in Season 1 instead of Gambit. Season 3 is already animating, and Season 4 is in pre-production. Season 3 comes out in 2027, and Season 4 the year after. So we're a ways away from Season 3. So here's my big question for you on here. One trade says Marvel TV is being cut to the bone. Another says it's quietly developing multiple new shows. And the only measurable hit on the platform is a show that never once appeared on a Nielsen chart. Does anybody, including Marvel, actually know what Marvel TV is for right now?
I think the only ones that do know is Marvel TV, and they're not opening a bag of anything right now. Whatever's done is done. If there is stuff in pre-production, they're mum's the word. If they're scaling back, mum's the word. So, like pretty much any of these things that are like speculating, it's always just like, all right, I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt.
Okay, to that point, one of these trades is going to be wrong in the next 90 days, right? So
Yeah.
which one do you think it is? Is Marvel television mostly done, or is it quietly ramping up?
I hope they're ramping up, but I mean, that would be my hope, is that they're, like I said, my hope is that they're ramping up, but we won't know for some time.
So Daredevil Born Again, it was #1 on Luminate and 0 for 17 on Nielsen. If you're a studio head, which number do you think is more important these days?
Probably that Luminate number. But because like I think like some of them with Nielsen ratings, I believe it's like a week. It literally just, I think it just counts the week. But from the date it drops and then a week after, I think that's the cycle for the Nielsen ratings. Or even just a couple days after. But I think that big number to know what the entire thing is doing is a bigger number. Because like I said before, maybe some people are waiting. They're, like I said, you and me, we watch every week. Normally like at least the day or day after the show drops. But whereas some people
clearly not when it comes to X-Men 97.
Yeah, but like X-Men 97, I started off way behind because I was still trying to finish up the old series before I started 97. But then again, there's people, and me included, on this X-Men thing. I've watched multiple episodes, when I'm continuing. So but with, like, for example, Wonder Man, there's people that didn't want to watch week after week. They just wanted to make sure they could watch the whole thing. So they waited until it was done and then watched the whole thing. So they didn't have to wait an extra week. That's pretty much. So that's probably why it didn't appear on the Nelson report.
Well, Vision Quest is 7 weeks out with no marketing since D23. Is that confidence, or is that a show being quietly walked to the door?
No, I think they're confident about it.
If Marvel is really in development of multiple new live action shows after canceling Wonder Man without explanation, why would any showrunner say yes?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, like, if you're a showrunner and you haven't worked with Marvel before, I mean, in most cases you're going to answer that call.
Well, here's my strong take. Marvel's television problem isn't the shows. It's that nobody can tell you what success looks like. Wonder Man was second on the platform, got canceled. Daredevil was first on the platform and never appeared on a Nielsen chart. 2 trades are reporting the opposite strategy in the same fortnight. When the metric is a secret, every renewal looks like a mood. All right, next topic. And this is probably the one genuinely reviewable Marvel release this week. And where it is on shelves. What if X-Men #1, written by Ashley Allen with art by Sumit Kumar, went on sale today, Wednesday, August 26th. The premise, per Marvel, in a world where Cassandra Nova killed Charles Xavier in the womb, telepaths are hunted and experimented on, and what she's making from them is far worse than what she's taking. So, what actually happens here? Cassandra Nova wins in the womb, an in-womb fight against Xavier inside their mother, Sharon Xavier. So Charles is never born. Instead of a school for mutants, Nova runs a school for psychics that she strengthens for her own parasitic ends. Jean Grey and Emma Frost are the protagonists trying to escape it, with Nova narrating. There's a fight against evil alternate X-Men and one piece of real bloody horror. Nova tears Psylocke in half, steps out of her, then zips her back together. So, from the rave, this book is being heralded as a 5 out of 5 by comicbook.com. A quote, "I've been reading What If comics for decades now, and this issue is one of the best I've ever read, to the extent that I want to see more of it." And the art they're saying is perfect. This is some of the best What If art I've ever seen. There are some dissenters, though. They're saying, What If X-Men #1 is good, if flawed, a one-shot that effectively sets up a protagonist, antagonist, and a world that would be fun to further explore. He calls the evil X-Men fight probably the weakest point, though. It's a great detail that's lacking. And he flags the lettering error near the climax where Emma says, "Don't be so pessimistic, Emma," instead of Jean. The aggregate score, it's an 8.8 critic average across 4 reviews, including a 10 from Megan Nicole of Nerd Initiative. Any interest in reading this one?
I mean, I haven't picked up a book in forever, so.
So this isn't the only one that came out. We've also got, same day, Tomb of Apocalypse #1. Ashley Allen, again with Domenico Carbone, covers by Rod Reese and Fabrizio De Tomaso. Apocalypse recruits Wolverine and Jubilee for a relic hunt out of his own tomb. There are going to be 5 issues. Still no interest?
Not really.
Fair enough. Well, some of the context points here, though. Last week, Marvel put out Avengers Time Runs Out and Secret Wars as premier collections. Those are both Hickman books, and the entire Incursions line is built on. 5 Incursions, one-shots, land in November, announced August 18th, X-Men Incursions #1, where the mutants ascend universe of House of M collides with Days of Future Past. There is a lot of really solid X-Men comic books coming that these films that are coming in the future could be built on. So my main question for you, a one-shot about a world where Xavier was never born, got a 5 out of 5 and an 8.8 average on the same Wednesday. Marvel's film division put out nothing but a re-release trailer. Is the comics division currently the most functional part of Marvel?
Probably. I mean, I think, there's going to be those diehard fans of that, so they can continue to put stuff out there.
So Jean Grey and Emma Frost as the leads, Nova as a narrator, and no Xavier at all. Is that a better X-Men pitch than the one Marvel just cast?
No, I think it's just different.
One critic calls it the best What If comics ever. Another calls it good but flawed and catches a lettering error at the climax. Which review do you trust more?
I mean, good but flawed.
Most things are, like you. Um, well, let's run down my my predictions when it comes to Marvel. I still have this one open. Marvel will name its Wolverine before the end of 2026, and it's not Hugh Jackman. I'm still standing by that one, 6 out of 10. No public Marvel explanation for the Wonder Man cancellation by August 31st. I'm still, I was an 8 out of 10. I'm going to up that. I'm a 9 out of 10 now. We got 5 days left. I don't think it happens. Wolverine and Deadpool both confirmed for Doomsday before it opens via a second trailer, not a press release. Doomsday or Deadpool basically has been confirmed, and I think Wolverine's gonna get confirmed, likely with this new Endgame release. So I'm gonna go from a 6 where I was last week up to an 8. I feel confident now. Secret Wars is going to get no footage, no title confirmation or date change for the rest of 26. I'll stand by that one. Vision Quest getting an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm going to stand by that one. Still 6 out of 10. I also last week said the Doomsday Sentinels will pay off as Doom-controlled weapons, not an X-Men tie-in. I'm still standing by that. I feel a little bit more confident now than I did before. I'm going to move that from a 5 out of 10 to a 7 out of 10. Some new positions. Brand New Day is going to pass Titanic before Labor Day weekend. 8 out of 10. Brand New Day is going to cross 900 million domestic, but it's not going to reach 1 billion domestic. 7 out of 10. And finally, the September 25th Encore sneak peek of Endgame does not formally confirm Hugh Jackman. Marvel holds him for maybe a last minute. 6 out of 10. I got some lightning round questions for you, James. Remember, on these, I want your answer and your confidence. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Hello? Oh, there's a delay on your camera, so you've got to give me verbal responses.
Right. Okay.
Does Brand New Day beat Titanic worldwide before Labor Day?
Yes. And I'll give that I can give that an 8. 8 out of 10.
Does Encore make back its release costs? Or is this a marketing expense Disney has decided not to call a marketing expense?
Yeah, I think it's a marketing expense that they won't call a marketing expense. And I'm like, I would say 8 out of 10 on that.
Vision Quest's Rotten Tomato score, what's it going to be?
Between 80 and 90%, and I'll give that. That's pretty much. I can pretty much for certain on that.
Does Marvel ever explain Wonder Man? Ever? Not by the end of this month. Ever?
I think they're going to have to. I think there's going to be enough outcry for some explanation, and so they will eventually give it. It's not going to be on anybody's timeline, but I think they'll eventually address it. And I'll 5.
Well, Marvel made $1 billion this week and couldn't produce one sentence about a canceled show. WWE, meanwhile, has a pay-per-view in 4 days, a tournament final in 5, and on Friday night, they let a man refuse to cheat and then punished him for it in Toronto. Let's move on to our second big segment of the night and talk some WWE, shall we?
Let's go.
3 shows and a go-home week. Friday in Toronto, Kevin Owens got his hometown title shot, and Sami Zayn made sure he didn't take it. Monday in Ottawa, it became brother versus brother. Penta and Rey Fenix both won their semifinals, and the winner of next Monday's final gets Roman Reigns in Mexico City. Tuesday, NXT changed the Heatwave card twice on the way out the door, and NXT Heatwave is Sunday from Edinburgh, Texas, with 3 of my ungraded predictions riding on it. First topic of the night, let's do some news. A 7-year run ended quietly, and a $1.6 billion story got denied. Thursday, August 20th, Ilya Dragunov has left WWE. His latest deal recently expired, ending a 7-year run. The resume, well, it deserves saying. 32 years old, held the NXT title for 200 days, came back from a year-long injury absence in October of 25 by winning the United States title out of a Sami Zayn Open Challenge, then defended it 8 times, Tommaso Ciampa, Carmelo Hayes, Aleister Black among them, and then lost it in December. Then he didn't wrestle for 4 months. But the biggest story, and it needs some careful handling. According to SE Scoop's BJ Bethel, citing multiple sources, have you heard this one? Have you seen this one? ESPN has already decided not to renew its WWE Premium Live Event deal when it expires in 4 years. ESPN is 1 year into a 5-year, $1.6 billion agreement and still owes roughly $1.3 billion. It cited problems that the media market, culture and synergy issues, and cable and satellite providers not picking up ESPN Unlimited. The deal was negotiated by top TKO and Disney executives rather than day-to-day ESPN and WWE staff, with virtually no discussions between WWE and ESPN staff at launch. Now, ESPN has denied it. They said, a spokesperson to Justin Barrasso said, "There is not truth to the report that we decided not to renew." Now, this is a disputed report, not a fact. And the 2 supporting data points are the interesting part regardless. Almost 4 out of 5 ESPN Unlimited users subscribe through the Disney Plus Hulu bundle rather than standalone, per Axios. And during WrestleMania week in April, ESPN's Get Up, First Take, and Pat McAfee show gave WWE 14 segments against 7 for MLB and 5 for NHL, the 3rd most discussed sport on the network behind the NBA and the NFL. Contracts and plans for the August 22 roundup. Have you heard? Bayley's contract is expected to expire before the end of 2026, and she reportedly has not signed a new deal. WWE is considering Saturday, December 12th for a John Cena Classic, which would be a combined main roster and NXT card with fans voting for the inaugural champion. There we go. Nakamura and Kyoko are expected to be the top SmackDown challengers. Ethan Page and Rusev are expected to be featured more on Raw. There's also some new Kevin Owens details that reframe Friday night. Owens was out for more than a year with a neck injury. WWE's clearance process normally takes about 4 weeks, and he completed it in 9 days. He learned in mid-July he could work toward a return and was back at SummerSlam 2 weeks later. Maybe his neck wasn't as ready as he thought. So here's my big question for you, James. A 32-year-old former U.S. champion with a 200-day NXT title reign just left after 4 months of not being used. Is that a WWE roster problem, or is that just what a roster this size looks like now?
I don't know. I mean, Dragunov was cool, but he always seemed to be getting hurt. That's why I thought he was out this time. I thought he got hurt again.
Nope.
Then yeah, I don't know. It is a big roster, so I mean, you got.
Dragunov defended the U.S. title 8 times and then vanished for 4 months. How does that happen to a guy who was, I think, pretty over?
Well, he lost it, and then he challenged for it multiple times and lost. So,
I mean, that's writing. That's not him.
right. But I'm saying he, like I said, like I thought he was hurt again because he seemed to get hurt often.
Talking about the ESPN deal, their 1 year and a 5-year deal, and still 1.3 billion, and had to publicly deny walking away. Even if the denial is honest, what does it tell you that the report was credible enough to need denying?
I mean, I didn't know how long. I couldn't remember how long that deal was for, anyway. So I mean, it's whatever. If they're already trying to get out, they're not seeing a real return. I think the whole ESPN Unlimited thing was a crock to start off with.
Fair enough. 4 out of 5 ESPN Unlimited subs come through the Disney Plus bundle. Is WWE on ESPN actually selling anything, or is it just a decoration on a bundle?
I think it's just if you already have those and it's, in the bundle, take the bundle.
Bayley's deal expires this year with no new contract signed so far. Is she going to end up being the biggest name that WWE loses this year?
Probably. I think she'll end up going over to AEW and joining back up with Monet, aka Sasha Banks.
And Kevin Owens cleared a 4-week neck protocol in 9 days. Is that a miracle, or is that a man who talked his way through a medical process?
I think he had probably been semi cleared because he was on LFG. He was one of the coaches on LFG the past season. So, I mean, I know they're not in the ring, but at the same time,
I mean, he wasn't doing any in-ring work for that, right?
I don't know what I haven't watched the show. I'm just saying I know he was a coach on there, and so I mean I'm thinking they're going to want to have him somewhat closer to being cleared than not, and just in case something happens during the filming. So, yeah.
Well, here's my strong take on the news. WWE just lost a man who held the NXT title for 200 days and defended the US title 8 times. And it happened in a Thursday news item nobody built to. Meanwhile, the company is 1 year into a $1.6 billion deal that needed a public denial this week. WWE has never been worth more money and has never been worse at knowing what it already has. Let's talk Heat Wave. Heat Wave is Sunday, and NXT changed the card twice on the way out. NXT Heat Wave, Sunday, August 30th, Burt Ogden Arena, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, on the CW and on the ESPN app with ESPN Unlimited in the US, Netflix internationally. First Heat Wave on both CW and ESPN, and NXT first live streaming event on ESPN. It follows AAA's Ola de Calor in the same building the same weekend, and it goes head-to-head with AEW All In. A Sunday afternoon NXT PLE opposite All In is a choice. The full card, as of this morning, we've got the NXT Championship Fatal 4-Way, the NXT Women's Championship, the NXT North American Championship. We got a little change here. We got a title unification, which is now a triple threat. The Women's North American Champion, the Women's Speed Champion, and now Callie Armstrong is in it. NXT Tag Team Championship, and added on Tuesday, a submission match, Jada Parker versus Natty. So how did Armstrong get into this? Well, she beat Zarya on Tuesday in 9 minutes and 10 seconds, countering an F5 into an O'Connor roll. Submission match. Natty told Jada Parker she was a possibility that I turned into a reality and challenged her. Parker accepted. Says she's going to wax that ass. The ratings matter here, and it's the best NXT number in a year. The August 18th NXT drew 683,000 viewers and a 0.14 in the 18 to 49 demo. It's the best since last September. And it outdrew AEW Dynamite by nearly 100,000 viewers. August 11th was 588,000 and a 0.09. We don't have the August 25th, yesterday's numbers yet. We'll probably have those next week, right? But NXT is averaging a 0.085 and 605,000 in 2026 against a 0.161 and 710,000 at the same point last year. Now, both of us agreed last week that Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker are running two better shows than Triple H's two shows. I don't remember which one of us says it first, but we agreed there. But NXT just had its best numbers in a year, while SmackDown's most recent published figure was 1.247 million and a 0.30, which was down 15% week over week. So, James, NXT is going to put on a unification match into a triple threat 4 days before the show and added a submission match on the go home. Is that a card being sharpened or a card being patched?
I think it's just being sharpened. I think adding Callie Armstrong to a match. I mean, she's been around and not doing a whole lot, but being very impressive when she's in the squared circle. Natty versus Jada submission match. Okay, I mean, Jada Parker's not really known for submissions, but I think they're looking for a way to actually put her over. Like, she's already over, but I think just she needs to beat Natalya again. She beat her a couple weeks ago, but she needs to beat her again to really cement that she's moving on. Everything else has kind of been, all that other stuff is kind of set, except after last week. So I mean, those are only two changes, which I think, having a triple threat for the unification makes it a little bit more interesting, in my opinion.
All right. So talking about that triple threat, adding Callie Armstrong makes the unification one where a champion could lose without being pinned, right? Before, we had a unification where there would be one champion losing a belt, where now potentially Callie could win both belts without ever having a belt. That's not normal to see in unification matches.
True, but I think I mean between Zarya and Ren Sinclair, it was kind of like it wasn't that interesting, in my opinion. So adding Callie Armstrong makes it a little bit more interesting for me.
Fair enough.
Real quick,
Miles Bourne, we know he's defending two titles on the same show.
Hey, did you see? Did you see the there? It looks like Lola Vice is coming up to the main roster.
Yes, yeah. We will talk about that.
Okay.
You got to read the rundowns that I send you, man.
I do, but I didn't.
So Miles Bourne is defending two titles. No, it's there. Miles Bourne is defending two titles on the same show, and we talked about last week. We both believe he's going to leave with exactly one. Do you feel any more confident now which one he's leaving with?
You know what? Honestly, I think he's going to end up leaving with the losing the tag team, only because where with especially the little backstage thing they had with Tavion saying how much that title means to him. There's a part of me that thinks they're going to lose that. He's going to lose that.
Okay. NXT best rating in a year, and Heatwave is a Sunday afternoon against All In. Is counter programming AEW's All In brave, or is it wasting the momentum?
I think they see the numbers, and it's like, I mean, I like honestly, I haven't watched a AEW pay per view or whatever they call them. I haven't watched at all. I barely watched the show. I mean, I watched like one episode, and it was like nothing but factions, and I was like, I'm out.
Fair enough. First ever NXT event live streaming on ESPN. In the same week, ESPN had to deny walking away from WWE. Coincidence?
No, I mean, I just think, yeah, probably just coincidence, but this actually helps because, like for the last one that was on Heatwave, I guess that was the Bash or whatever. I missed it, and I ended up having to watch. I had to watch the like highlights, but I didn't get to watch the actual show. So I mean, I set this one to record now, but having it streaming on ESPN makes it a little bit easier.
Well, here's my strong take on Heatwave. NXT is running the best television in this company right now, and its reward is a Sunday afternoon slot opposite AEW's biggest show of the year, on a service that 4 out of 5 people only have because it came in a bundle. The show earned better than this. Ready to do some reviews?
Yeah.
Wow, don't seem so psyched up about it.
Oh,
Let's talk SmackDown. CM Punk retained. Kevin Owens did not win in his hometown, and Sami Zayn is the reason. Our main event, undisputed WWE Championship in 19 minutes. The finish, beat by beat, both men shoved the referee down. KO hit a stunner, and the crowd counted with no official. Punk hit a GTS with no official. Sami Zayn ran out and threw Punk into the ring post. KO hit a second stunner. Sami threw the ref back in. Punk kicked out at 2.99. Then Sami slid the title belt in and urged KO to use it. KO refused, shoved it back, and said, "Not this way." Sami blasted KO with the belt anyway. Punk hit go to sleep and pinned him. Post-match, Sami attacked both men with the belt, screaming at Punk that he stole the title from him. We had some good spots. KO frog splashing off the barricade that collapsed the announce desk. Top rope swanton near fall. Sharpshooter. Punk went to the Anaconda Vice. During his entrance, Kevin Owens into the camera. 20 years. Itch 20 years. And then an hour later, not this way. That's the whole character in 2 lines, I guess, huh? Rest of the card was, to me, kind of ho-hum. We had the MFTs, Tama and Tala with Haku retained over Damian Priest and R-Truth. Lash Legend with Nia Jax beat Tiffany Stratton clean with the lash extension. Blake Monroe versus Julia never officially happened. Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton opened the show. Corbin, Trick, Little Yachty, kind of over it. And we got a debut reveal of Shinsuke Nakamura's partner is it Kaioki?
I don't even know how to say it, but whatever.
So here's my big question, James. Sami Zayn handed Kevin Owens a title belt in his hometown, and Owens said, "Not this way," and then lost the match because of it. Is that the best character beat WWE has written this year, or is it WWE punishing the one guy who seems to have principles?
I don't know. It's just like they're trying to build them differently, I guess. I don't know. And it's for the first time, like Sam. Well, here's the thing: Sami turned on KO, which has always been the other way around. It's always been KO turning on Sami.
No, that's not true. Sami turned on KO once before.
Okay,
but I mean, they've done it to each other so much; it's kind of like it's just absurd at this point. And I don't know, with the way Kevin Owens came out with the 20 years itch 20 years, right? Like, and then not this way, like, just seems very conflicted character.
No, I mean, I think he just needed, like, at the end, he was like, I need to get it done. I need to get it done cleanly so that I actually have, you know, I've squashed those demons, I guess, in a sense.
I mean, it's basically been 10 years since the last time he had the belt. Is WWE ever going to actually put it on him again, or is he now just permanently going to be the guy who almost gets it?
I think he'll get it again, probably.
Sammy's whole grievance is that Punk stole the title from him. Is that a real story with somewhere to go, or is it just a way to keep Punk and KO apart?
I mean, they're gonna have to figure out how to tie all this stuff up anyway. So
Yahoo gave the show a 3.5, but the main event a 4.75 out of 5. Can one match save a 2-hour show?
sometimes.
This show?
I don't know.
Blake Monroe attacked Julia in the aisle, so the bell never rang, and Barrett said on commentary that it doesn't count as her debut. Is that clever, or is that a company afraid to book a debut match?
No, it's just like this is what they're doing with her now. It's just like I didn't think she was ready. I don't know why they moved her up from NXT. She hardly did anything over there. And then like they bring her over to the main roster and she's just been relegated to attacking people backstage, and you're supposed to have a match and you attack her during her entrance. Like, bro, what?
And this one might seem a little nitpicky, but I'm kind of getting tired of this crap. Tessitore on commentary said that there were 18,000 people. The number was actually 15,800. Does that bother you, or is that just wrestling?
I don't care. I don't care how many people are in the arena.
Fair enough. Well, here's what I think about SmackDown. Kevin Owens was handed a title belt in his hometown with the referee down, and he refused to use it. Then he lost. That's the best thing WWE wrote all week, and it's also the most WWE thing imaginable. They'll give a man a moment of genuine integrity and make absolutely certain that it cost him. I'm getting very tired. Getting very, very tired of WWE right now. Let's talk Raw. Monday, August 24th, Canadian Tire Center, Ottawa. Brothers and a returning man in a bandana. This was 2 hours earlier. It was at 3 p.m. Pacific on Netflix. We had Michael Cole and Corey Graves on commentary. The headline was, it's brother versus brother. Penta and Rey Fenix both won their semifinals. The final's going to be Penta versus Rey on the August 31st Raw, and the winner faces World Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns September 14th from the arena CDMX in Mexico City. Phoenix walked out as Penta was leaving. Brothers collide next week, according to Michael Cole. Several outlets said the final would be at Sunday night's main event, including us. We were wrong. Phoenix beat Dragon Lee in 14 minutes with a Mexican muscle buster. Penta beat La Parca in 9 minutes with the sacrifice, and then a Mexican destroyer off the ropes. Was there ever any doubt here? No, I don't think so. Stephanie Vaquer beat Roxanne Perez in 13 minutes. Jacob Fatu did not pick a side, and this is the one that matters for our scorecard. The Usos confronted him backstage. Fatu stood his ground and said he only does what the OTC explicitly tells him to do, and told Jay again he does not take orders from him. Jimmy showed off his Ula Fala. Fatu kicked a production crate, and that was it. The main event was a no contest at 10 minutes. The Usos versus LA Knight and Solo Sikoa. Because Royce Keys came back, bandana over his face, speared Jey Uso and Solo through the barricade into the Timekeeper's area, while OTM, Bronco Nima, and Lucian Price attacked Knight.
Yes.
Keys hit Knight with the steel steps. Then they put Jimmy through the announce desk table with a double crucifix. Cole said the Bloodline drove Keys to this. Keys and the OTM stood tall to close the show to boos. Elsewhere on this show, we had Big Cass beating Javon Evans in 9 minutes. Obafemi and Braun Breaker signed a contract for Sunday night's main event. Rey Mysterio wished Phoenix luck. Dominic complained that Rey treats everyone like his son except him. Ethan Page confronted Chad Gable. No title changes, no championship matches. Attendance was conflicted. Pretty small. From what I could see, it was about 8,600 in attendance. We had 4 Mexican luchadors in a tournament, and every road led to 2 brothers fighting each other. You said last week Phoenix versus Dragon Lee would have been the better final. WWE missed the mark. Dragon Lee lost. Do you still think that would have been the better match?
No, I thought you said that.
Did I?
Yeah, I think you said that.
I thought you said that Phoenix versus Dragon Lee would have been a better final.
No, I think I said something along the lines of if, like, I don't remember what I said, but all I know is that I think you said that.
Okay. Phoenix versus Dragon Lee went 14 minutes and was the best match of the show. Penta versus La Parka went 9. Does that tell you who WWE thinks is going to win coming up on Monday?
No. I just think they needed. I mean, I think that between Dragon Lee and Phoenix, they have. I think just the chemistry there was just a little bit better, so they could run it longer.
Jacob Thought too, out loud, said that he only takes orders from Roman Reigns, kicked a crate and left. Your position is that he has no option to leave. Is he a character right now, or is he furniture?
A little bit of both.
Fair enough. Royce Keys came back in a bandana for some reason because, I guess he didn't think we could tell who it was. And OTM destroyed everyone. Is that the Bloodline story finally getting a new engine, or the 5th reshuffle of the same 6 men?
I think this will breathe some new blood into it.
Big Cass, 8 years later, beating Javon Evans. What is that for?
Who knows?
Oba called Braun an angry orange man and said he'd have been a star in 2002. Is that the best promo either of them has cut?
It's a really good one for Oba. Braun is just, I mean, I don't know. Braun is still kind of, I don't know. He's whatever. I like Braun Breaker, but they need to get him out of the vision. And basically after this, either, Oba can stay on Raw. Braun's going to have to go to SmackDown.
So we had 8,600 in Ottawa for Raw versus the 15,800 in Toronto 4 days earlier. Is that a Raw problem or an Ottawa problem?
It's just an Ottawa problem, probably.
Well, WWE ran a 4-man tournament with 4 different Mexican stars and arrived at the one final it was always going to arrive at. And I don't hate it. The brothers is the story. What I don't buy is Jacob Fatu. He has stood in a hallway and said, I only listened to Roman for 3 straight weeks. That's not a slow burn. That's a man waiting for the writers to remember that he's there. Overall, Raw and SmackDown this last week, to me, garbage.
Yeah, it wasn't. I wouldn't say garbage, but it was.
Let's talk NXT go home show for Heatwave. The opener, It's the match of the night. Weaponized steel cage. Con Sugars beat. Is it Dion Lennox?
Saquon
Um,
Sugars beat Dion Lennox.
Not Saquon?
No, it's Saquon.
Huh. I guess I should actually pay attention to people's names when they say them.
Yeah.
The finish here was on a compromised knee. Sugars climbed to the top of the cage and hit a crossbody for the pin. We had chairs, trash cans, kendo sticks, a broken table, tree of woe
Right.
spot, and a baseball bat.
There was some messes there, like with the table breaking before anybody really even went through it. The table collapsing with Dion Lennox on it. It was just there was some issues to this match, but overall an enjoyable match and the outcome that I think at least I wanted. So
Kelly Armstrong beat Zarya in 9 minutes and 10 seconds, non-title match. AAA Cruiserweight title, Ray Phoenix retained over EK Prosper.
It's a good match. That was a really good match.
In, I guess, what people were trying to shoot for a speed match, Keanu Carver beat Cam Hendricks in 3 minutes and 39 seconds.
Cam Hendricks I can't really stand his character.
We had a 8-man tag with the Birthright beating Noam Dar, Romeo Moreno, Dorian Bandu, and Sean Legacy.
Yeah, it was also another mess of a match, but whatever.
To close out the show, we had the NXT Heatwave Summit. Participants Kendall Gray, Kalani Jordan, Ren Sinclair, Zarya, and Kylie Armstrong. Gray called herself the benchmark of the roster, not Jordan, and said, now it's time for Kalani to put her money where her mouth is. And Jordan said, it would only take her one shot. And told Gray to take your title and put your ass back on the bench. Then Grayson Waller interrupted wearing a Nepo Oos hoodie, which I think is hilarious. Ladies, great to look at, hard to listen to. Man, he is hard heel. Like, man, this is like Jerry Lawler heel. Tony D'Angelo said Waller will be a disappointment. Cruz Montana, they all came to talk, but I came to throw hands. Then we had a brawl. In the melee, Zarya F5'd Armstrong, Sinclair X-Factored Zarya, Gray took out Jordan. And the finish of the whole show, Zilla Fatu leapt off the top rope onto the men brawling at ringside and stood tall holding the NXT Championship, while Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair held the women's North American and women's speed titles aloft. Fatu said he is not a nympho baby and vowed to win the NXT title at Heatwave.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to win, but whatever.
The go-home show ended with the go-home show ended with the challenger holding the champion's belt over 4 unconscious men, and the champion's contribution was calling a guy in a hoodie a disappointment. James, here's my question: is Zilla Fatu winning on Sunday? And if he does, was Tony D'Angelo's whole reign just a placeholder?
No, he's not winning. I think Tony D'Angelo retains.
Grayson Waller in a Nepo Oos shirt. Is that the best heel work on the card, or is it NXT saying the quiet part about why Zilla Fatu is in the title match?
No, I think it's just a heel spot.
Ray Phoenix defending the title on a Tuesday and fights his brother on Monday for a shot at Roman Reigns. Is anybody in this company being used harder right now?
No, but I mean, that's what he wants to do.
Overall, what did you think of this show as a go-home show?
I enjoyed it. It was. I mean, I knew the end was going to be a mess with all those people in the ring. So,
Well, tell your brother I said bless you.
Yeah.
Here's my strong take on NXT. NXT ran a 2-hour go-home show, and the last image was the challenger standing over the champion holding the champion's belt. There's no mystery about Sunday, and honestly, good. Tony D'Angelo has been champion since April, and I could not tell you one thing his reign has been about. I think Zilla Fatu wins it come Sunday.
Okay.
You ready for your lightning round, James?
Yeah, just a minute. Hold on. I'll be right back. I have to stand up because my butt is hurting because this chair I'm in is hard. I'll be right back.
Okay. While James goes somewhere, not where is he going? Why? I can understand sitting and needing to get up, but why leave? It's always hard to do a live show when people just disappear. After these messages, we'll be right back. Well, while we wait for James, I'll recap some of my WWE related things. So I'm saying Penta's going to win the AAA tournament to face Roman Reigns. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. I think Corbin's still going to be holding the title that he's holding by the end of this month. I'm going to stick with my 7 out of 10. I think Bourne is leaving Heatwave with 1 title. We said that. I'm going to give that a 7 out of 10. Fatu is going to leave the bloodline by September 6th. I feel less confident. I'm going to bring that down to a 3 out of 10. Reigns beats the AAA winner at CDMX. I'm going to give that a 10 out of 10 at this point. Oh, you're back.
Yeah. Sorry.
That was quite a stretch.
Yeah, it was like.
Are you ready for your?
Yeah.
Ready for your lightning round?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Heatwave main event. Who leaves as NXT champion?
I think Tony D'Angelo. And I'm
Confidence?
6.
Zarya, Sinclair, or Armstrong?
They've held the championships for a little while. Like Zarya, I think kind of almost needs it because of what happened with her and Sol Ruka, but at the same time, Sinclair has been whatever. So honestly, I personally I would much rather have Callie Armstrong. And
Confidence?
5.
Penta or Phoenix on Monday?
Penta, but we've already kind of known that.
Does Little Yachty survive 5 minutes with Baron Corbin?
Sneakily.
Is that a yes?
Yeah, I think he survives the 5 minutes. Through
Cody Rhodes or Randy Orton?
Chicanery. Randy Orton, hopefully.
Confidence?
Like 6.
Fatu, you said he has no option to leave the bloodline. 11 days left. Still feeling that confident?
Yeah.
You don't see him potentially leaving to go join Royce?
Not after what, like Royce wouldn't. I don't think Royce would even take him back after what he did to him.
Is the belt coming off of Corbin before Money in the Bank?
I don't think so.
Well, WWE ran 3 okay shows this week, and the best moment on all of them was a man refusing to cheat. Punk kept the belt because Sami Zayn couldn't help himself. Penta and Phoenix are fighting each other Monday because there was never another version of that tournament. And NXT, the show with the smallest budget and the worst time slot, just put on the best 45 minutes of television this company produced and got a Sunday afternoon opposite. All in for it. Sunday is a big deal, and this company is treating it like a matinee. Well, I know you're done because we've hit that 2 hour mark. So let's wrap this thing up, and I'll give you my closing thought. Spider-Man passed Endgame this week. Marvel still couldn't put one sentence on paper about a show they canceled a month ago. Heatwave is Sunday. Brothers fight on Monday. We're back next Wednesday with receipts. You got anything else?
Nah, I think that pretty much covered it.
Well, then you know what to do.
Deuces. See you next week.